How's it going, guys and gals? My name is Sergeant Beckett, and welcome back to the third episode of Sergeant Beckett Reviews. And I shall not forget this time, I am once again, as per usual, as is the new format of this series, joined by the one, the only, the magnificent Jed. I'm on coffee, I'm very hyper for some reason. Hi.
Hi. I too have drunk coffee this evening, but I am not hyper. I am awake. I am focused. I am razor sharp. Is that a moth? Hello. But yeah. So hi. How is everybody on this fine evening / morning / whatever time of day you happen to be watching it out there in internet land? Yes, it's lovely to be back.
I mean, for me personally, it's generally not too bad. Just taking life as it comes. Got a new chair today, although it's not as there's a few faults with it that would have been preferred not to have. I mean, the design of the chair is as it was described. But I guess that's what you get from ordering things on Amazon.
Yeah, see, this is why, like.
So
fun fact about my office chairs.
Yeah.
So back in the pandemic, if all of you like Gen Zs and Gen Alphas and like children in the audience remember the pandemic, it was that thing that happened like half your lifetime ago.
Yeah.
That a lot of people were really worried about. So back during the pandemic,
yeah.
my mother insisted that I get an office chair from work. Work brought me an office chair, but it was a knackered old office chair, but I liked it because it was big and leather. And then my mother noticed that the office chair was knackered, because my mother notices these things, and so my mother decided, you have to buy a proper office chair. So she bought me a proper office chair. And that was the proper office chair that I've been sat in for the last 5 years, until the leather started peeling, and so my mother bought me 2 new office chairs. So I'm currently sitting in like a 180 quid office chair that's like proper nice leather with like proper adjustable armrests and the works. It's like this is ergonomic back support that the flipping works. And right next to me is another office chair that's like, technically speaking, a manager's chair, which doesn't go quite as far up my back, but it genuinely looks like it just came off the bridge of the USS Enterprise. So,
well, that's because my one, it's for those of you who've been watching my channel probably since the start, I think I've had the big red one, and similar to the one you just mentioned a minute ago, the leather has been peeling for a little while. And I mean, not only that, but also the foam on the armrests have been slowly they started to slowly die down. They now had ceased to exist for the last few months. So I mainly had sort of harder armrests, and also because I don't know if you've ever seen them, but obviously viewers of my channel, you'll have watched the Forza Horizon 4 videos. I tend to sit in this thing, especially at night, getting rather warm, chasing my friends around in cars for about an hour or 3 hours straight, and especially in the winter times or anything, that can get rather warm and sticky. So I thought let's ask for one of those really mesh back armchairs. And I mean, apart from a few small features, it's fine. The one thing, I mean, in hindsight, I should have realized when approaching this topic is that obviously with these sort of like mesh back chairs, obviously they're mainly designed to have like the rather pulled out lumbar support at the bottom. In hindsight, I now realise that fact. I couldn't really think about that because I haven't really used these sort of chairs before, so I didn't think about that much when I looked for them. And so now I came to sit in them. I'm like, oh, that feels weird now, because I'm used to more of like a straight back thing. Like I can just sit back and do that. But now I'm just like, there's a massive gap at the bottom, which I'm now very aware of. Which I'm like, oh, that's weird. So.
And yet, weirdly, it will end up being better for your back in the long run.
Probably, yeah. I'm giving it a try at least. Obviously, it's a much smaller, much different chair. So I'm giving it a try, seeing if I can get used to it and all. But I don't know, I was like, oh, that's weird. But
So
Yeah.
this is not in fact a Sergeant Beckett reviews Star Trek. This is Sergeant Beckett
Reviews
reviews
chairs.
office chairs.
Hey, like,
You know, funnily enough, I'm reminded of my friend Iris, who runs the Gormaco channel.
yeah.
You'll know them because they're the ones doing Star Trek Deep Space Five.
Oh yeah.
And so they went on a trip recently, and one of the things that they were doing was they were doing reviews of chairs, but specifically reviews of cuck chairs.
Sorry, can I confirm I heard that
Yes.
right? You said reviews of cuck chairs.
Yes. Reviews of cuck chairs. How good is this chair for cucking in? And we found that there were many varied chairs of many varied qualities that they would encounter, which were very good for that. But almost none of them were good for barricading the door in the event of the zombie apocalypse, we found.
You see, like, so the problem I have here is that
Yes.
I know enough about that to know it is a sexual or
Rude
sexual
thing, yes.
act. The problem is, I
Yes.
don't know enough about it to know exactly what,
know what
a
the chair is
certain
for.
type chair would do. So I'm just like, a half of me wants to know, but half of me feels that would be a very, very bad idea to inquire.
The short version, and this is my understanding, because even I'm a bit like leery on the precise definition. Oh, this is great. I'm 34 years old, and this is how basic bitch I am. I don't know the ins and outs of it. Poor choice of words.
Fair enough.
It is a chair for sitting and watching.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so wait. So now I'm even more confused because now I'm thinking, well, if you're just sitting and watching, shouldn't any chair be good enough for that? What the fuck?
No. You
Evidently not. Evidently not.
You need certain kinds of functionality here.
Evidently.
So don't worry. I don't think that this will be turning into a cuck chair review series, because that is Iris's domain, not mine. So if they ever come on this, if like I get Iris and Toby talking about stuff, then I'll get that to happen. But in the meantime,
vaguely enough, on this sort of, not on that point, but on this sort of off-topic point in general, I was thinking about the last episode we did the other night, and I was thinking to myself that because obviously we strayed on that episode a lot of the time on a lot of different very topics. It was Star Trek in general, but we didn't like talk specifically about the episode. And I was thinking about that. And I was thinking, well, actually, that's not too much of a bad idea, because like I started it as inspired by wanting to sort of not exactly copy, but inspired to do like similar thing with what Triculture did.
Yep.
And now I'm thinking I did that, but that's sort of like a thing that could make that I enjoy doing that can make it different to that, which is literally making it an episode review, but also just talking about other random shit as well. Because why the fuck not?
Indeed. I mean, like, you know, everybody and their proverbial mother has a podcast these days.
I mean, true. I mean, I already have some like that as video series dedicated to that.
Yeah. No, but what I mean is, like, you know, it's always good to talk about things.
Yeah.
You know, people enjoy hearing people talk about things.
Yeah.
You know, especially if we say shit that people agree with. That people love it when you say shit they agree with.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, no, isn't it great when you say shit and people agree with it? That's wonderful.
Anyway,
it's when they disagree with it. That's a different question.
Oh yeah. Well, so today we will be doing a review of Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 3, Episode 10, the finale. I've already forgotten the fucking name. What's the fucking name of the episode? I've forgotten it.
New Life and New Civilisations.
Thank you, that one. Yeah, so we'll do an episode on that. Maybe on that episode. And to start with, I shall give my general thoughts of. And actually, it's a little note I put actually at the bottom before my rating of it, which was, I'm honestly not too sure what to think of this episode. To be honest, I've forgotten half of what happened at the start, and what happened towards the end has sort of clouded my view of the whole thing, and has left me a little bit confused, if I'm being perfectly honest. I shall leave that generalization there, because that's before I go into my stuff. What was your general thoughts on this week's finale episode? Not so well, I take it.
You should never leave. This is a blanket statement, but you should never leave a season finale of Star Trek going meh. And the problem is, I left this season finale, and there was some nice moments.
Oh yeah, that was.
But like, broadly speaking, I was just sort of sat there going meh.
Yeah. I had the same as well.
And I think. Yeah, I'll.
All right. Yeah.
I'll go into specific points when we get there.
Yeah.
I'll let you.
Yeah. All right. So I'll start. So like we did, like I sort of switched the thing up halfway through in the last episode. I shall start with my list, and Joe can sort of interject with small little tidbits where he likes to. After my list, I shall then do. He'll then do his list, and I'll again mention anything that he has a touch on that I haven't mentioned. And at the end, and then after that, we'll both do our ratings and everything else. And if you have time for it, I shall mention the thing that I didn't mention at the start. So, to start with, I was looking obviously. So this is obviously a comment on the previously on. You were right from the last episode. A lot of what you said would happen. What you thought you might have thought. No, a lot of what you said you thought would happen did happen. Specifically, like to do with like the nurse computer virus Minjigi storyline thing happened. That was a thing. My next note is essentially just hello, Scotty with his authentic kilt dress uniform. I was not expecting that at all.
Oh my god.
But I didn't cut on to it, but I did. But I was watching after this the What the Hell from Trek Culture, their little discussion video, and it did make me think of it. It made it because they made a comment that it sort of, whether it was meant to be intentional or not, it made them think of that moment back when Erica pulled that little stunt on Uhura. Then obviously it came to the obviously got them during Corby's voiceover when on the planet, and I was like and there was that. I thought that was a rather pretty planet, and some very nice establishing music for it as well. They did the panning shot, and then quite literally, next thing I know is I mean, I had to look away for a minute. So I didn't kind of catch what the actual role that he impersonated was, but I was like, shit, the fucking alien priest is the nurse demon thing. And then a small note, but something that I found myself thinking. I think the SNW title theme might be my favorite of all Star Trek themes. I think. I don't know if it's sort of I even on watches I get myself like doing like little bobbing whenever I hear this and anything, and I don't do for any of the other themes. So that's a small little note. The next one I was a bit confused by because it's wait, what? La'ange did the fucking Vulcan nerve pinch? I was confused by that because I can't remember what episode it was of any show that I saw, but I was under the impression that I mean, unless she's learned some sort of mental mastery of it as well. But I was under the impression that it was the Vulcan nerve pinch was half with like the pressure of like obviously the Vulcan grip, but also something in like mentally that the Vulcans do in their head to do with the transferring. No. Oh no. Okay, never mind.
No, and I can tell you for sure that's not true because Data did it in TNG.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, it's just like a lot of people outside of Vulcans can't do it. Broadly,
okay.
It's broadly accepted that Vulcans can do it because Vulcans have that nice combination of physical strength but also precision.
Okay.
So like Laan is a security officer, so
Yeah.
she's got the physical strength, and she's a fucking meticulous badass, so presumably
Fair
she's
enough.
got
All
the
right.
precision. So fair play to her for that one.
Okay. So then, I think the next one was when obviously the god nurse demon thing had come out of yeah, I forgot.
Nurse Demon Boy.
Nurse Demon Boy.
Let's just call him Nurse Demon Boy. So Nurse Demon Boy.
Yes. Obviously he comes out and then start of that doorway and then starts basically telling everyone to or commanding everyone to stab themselves in the fucking eyes. I wasn't expecting that part. Not unhinged at all. Then I got now. I don't know. It wasn't this thing, but obviously by the end of the episode, but obviously then there was a part of when I think it was after Nurse Demon Boy had taken I've forgotten the doctor's name. Shit.
Mbenga.
That's the one. Through the portal and they were in the room. When and obviously they were doing something there. It was after that when Batel's eye started, when obviously her hands flashed and obviously her eyes started glowing. I can't remember what the actual specific name of it was, but my first thought was it was I think it was one of the finale of the TOS episodes or whatever, where they're at the end of the universe. And
it's actually you're thinking of Where No Man Has Gone Before, which is actually the second pilot.
No, that's what it was. No, that's what it was. When No Man Has Gone Before.
You're thinking of Gary Mitchell.
That's what it was. Yes.
Superficially, actually, yes. That's actually a very good point. That does look a bit like that.
That's what my sentiment.
I hadn't made that connection. I suppose. Before you continue, I'll sort of sum up. I mean, up until this point, my overriding attitude was just, apart from there being a couple of nice moments, I fucking love Martin Quinn as Scotty. I'm just gonna say Martin Quinn as Scotty. Thank you for giving us a Scottish Scotty. Fucking thank you. No, like properly. We need more. Like that is that's long fucking overdue. Like we've had some really great actors in the past. Obviously Jimmy Doohan was phenomenal in the role.
Yeah.
But actually having a fucking Scotsman doing a Scotsman is just yes, thank you. But yes, sorry, you were saying.
Yes. That's fine. But so. This is a small quote, but it was obviously it was just simple. It was obviously when they were going through what was happening to Batel and everything. I was like, oh, okay. She's a statue now. It was when obviously they were going through analyzing that obviously she connected with this thing. I was like, so she's a statue. I obviously this didn't know at the time. I was like, what the fuck. Then again, obviously continue on with this whole thing of the two things are connected. I was like, oh, interesting. Inhabited all power from the old race. I thought that was an interesting little thing. Again, so Jed was another thing. You were right about. Like you mentioned, evidently. These original characters would have to be weaned out at some point, and
there she goes.
The Betel, that Betel is officially the one to go.
No, okay. I'll sum up everything in a minute.
That's fine, alright. And then very simply, we got the gym. We got the smoke. We got the fucking obviously Paul Leslie's Kirk saying, "Call me Jim." I was like, ha! Let's heads up. And then, so this next code has been updated since. Obviously, is after I watched the track culture video, because I obviously saw YouTube before I watched not their video, but I was on YouTube before I watched the episode, and on their thumbnail they had, I think it was Batel, but also the 12th Doctor.
Yep.
And I think had I not seen that, maybe I wouldn't have made the thought of because obviously as I was watching, I was like, okay, yeah, the hands are glowing, and also I hear the music as well. I see hands are glowing, reminiscent of obviously regeneration, and obviously the music of that scene. reminiscent. It's got a very sort of like Doctor Who sort of 12th generation sound sound of music to it, and I like and I put it in bracket Doctor Who reference, I guess. But I say that because, again, I think had I not seen that thumbnail, I might have not made that connection to any of it. And this is now where everything started to go a bit for me, because it was the next scene the next like sort of scene with obviously Battelle and Pike, and it was flashback, alternate reality, and then obviously it was when after Pike not going through the accident, obviously they're sat outside in the pub. I was like, did she alter time? And then I was like, what? And obviously, then I was like, what's this knocking that's going on throughout this entire thing? I was very, I mean, and obviously again, from my perspective and the way I view things, I might not have picked up on it, but that sort of stayed with me till the end of the episode and sort of overrid everything else I just sort of kind of watched. And because of that, I was like, wait, what was all that? Have I missed something? What was that meant to be?
Yeah.
Then, but one thing that was kind of, apart from that, one thing that did kind of make me chuckle a little bit was how apparently I think it was Uncle. Spock became an uncle to Pike's daughter, I think it was, and it doesn't mind the name Sock or something like that. I thought that was fucking hilarious. Again with the same scene, I was like, another shooting star question mark, like what's the reference to this thing? What's the reference to all this? And this wasn't a negative comment on the following scene, where obviously where obviously it's a showdown, obviously all this entire place starts peeling away around them. But I was like, what the fuck is happening now? It wasn't a what the fuck's happening? This is stupid. It was more of a, oh, shit's happening. Oh, this is intense. Oh fuck, what's happening? Oh, what the hell is this? Then I had nothing more to say on that entire scene as a whole. Obviously my general sort of feeling was obviously I was kind of feeling bad for Pike sort of thing. But the next major thing that I had was, I think at this point it probably isn't going to change now, but I was, which I'm fine, which I'm sort of having to get over with now, but I wasn't too sure. I told myself it was the ending scene in Mess Hall, and I was obviously Kirk and Spock were talking, and obviously they perk up to mentioning obviously Spock's there to meet with and I just put, are they really going with this sort of Spock thing, aren't they, sort of thing, the way the sort of they hinted. I was like, oh, okay, fair enough, I guess. And then my last note was, it was very ambiguous sort of note, because the ending scene sort of opened up, but I wasn't too sure what it sort of suggested. So I just put 5-year mission, and which is a combination of thoughts of like, is this going to be a Pike and Enterprise 5-year mission, or is it going to be like a sort of connection of early Kirk 5-year mission, or is it going to be something else entirely? I was like, what? I'm intrigued by this. I've been. This is intriguing. What is this? And yeah, so I shall leave the rating of this to after you've given what your views are on this thing, which I feel this is going to be an interesting listen.
Okay. So, frankly,
yeah,
some wonderful little character moments, some lovely little bits, but a lot of this was a very by the numbers episode.
Okay.
Some by the numbers. Here are some big stakes. We can't let these generic evil. I'm not particularly fond of the Vesda as an antagonist. I'm sorry,
okay.
demon nurse boy with no eyes walks around. It's all very COD Event Horizon. It's kind of
Okay.
neutered from what Event Horizon is actually like. So it's like, okay, so you've got a sort of neutered, gutless version of Event Horizon wandering around. You've got this generic faceless evil force that's going to escape. It's very by the numbers, and then conveniently the side character woman gets killed, because of course conveniently the side character woman gets killed, and no doubt we're going to spend the next half a season, focusing really loads on Christopher Pike's man pain, because
Okay.
you can't fridge a woman without focusing on the man pain, all that much. Either that, or he's just going to conveniently fucking forget that somebody he loved or purported to love is dead. Okay. So, right. How to go sum this up? I'll start with the good stuff. I like the cast are obviously phenomenal. There's some really fun moments with them.
Yeah.
You really feel sort of Mbenga's moments a lot with there. And the depth of his sort of trauma and his character. I fucking like one of the best moments for me was just there's no other way to put this. They were fucking, I don't know whether I class it as queer baiting or not, but they basically just had Kirk and Spock sitting opposite each other, making fuck me eyes at each other. It's like, on the one hand, I'm a Spock shipper. Give me the sweet Spock. Like, you can imagine so many fucking fan vids that are just gonna come out of this, which are literally just hot, steamy sex music to those two fucking eye-fucking each other. And the fact that Ethan Peck plays it, that entire thing with this little tiny smirk of, yes, I'm going to we're going to mentally fuck now. What we are doing is basically fucking now. Yes, we are basically going to fuck now. We're going to fuck now, Jim. That's what's happening now, Jim. Yes, we're going to be saving the ship, but we're going to fuck to save the ship. We're going to Vulcan fuck to save the ship. So it's just, yeah. No, Kirk Spock is happening on the screen in front of me in the year of our Lord 2025. Yes.
Oh wow.
But I fucking just like that moment, sort of like fan brain went off in my brain. I was like, yes, I like this. This is good. Give me more of this. I didn't like that the captain of the Farragut was in the background and didn't say a fucking word, because it's like we do remember that the captain of the Farragut is a character still, right? Like it's not just a prop to sit in the backdrop in like out of focus. I really didn't like the treatment of Patel in this.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
So more to the point, I don't think it worked. I don't think Patel as a character worked.
Okay, that's fair enough.
So we're introduced to Patel in season 1. She's in what, 2 episodes? She's in episode 1 as random love interest captain that Captain Pike is snogging while he's got his COVID beard on. Hello, COVID beard. So random love interest that he can snog with his COVID beard while being all depressed and man painy, and then he goes off into space and she's never fucking heard from again, really. And then what? She shows up. When else does she show up? Does she show up any other episodes apart from the very last episode of season 1 to basically be, like, I'm arresting Una now? Because I don't think she does she?
Going off my comments from the last video, the likelihood of me remembering anything from previous seasons, let alone early on in this season, is very limited. So I need to go rewatch it. The thing is, she leaves such a low impression in season 1, and then in season 2, like, you get some generic, like, you're doing something I don't like, romantic partner of mine, and this is going to affect our romance. Kind of shit going on with the whole Una trial, which I just sort of sit there and go, right, am I supposed to give a shit? Am I supposed to give a shit about this character? And then you get some very generic, like, relationship drama-y stuff. Like, really very generic relationship drama-y stuff between Patel and Pike in season 2. And then she becomes like a
like a prop. Basically, she's a prop in season two's finale, where it's like, oh, we need to save Captain Patel. She's like the prop to save Captain Patel, and she doesn't really get super huge amounts of agency. And then in season three, like the vast majority of the time we spent with her is Captain Patel's recovering, and what is the mystery of it? It's like, I don't care enough. Like, you're a very, I can't remember the actress's name for love nor money. Very competent actress, don't get me wrong. Lots of presence, does very well with what I consider to be very limited material, but I just don't care about this character.
That's right.
And now you're fridging her. Now you're fridging her for the sake of what exactly? Like so that Captain Pike can go off and be sad, and so that generic evil McEvil race can be defeated. Okay, great. That's. Am I meant? Okay, so like when Jadzia Dax dies in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, as unceremonious a death as that is, it feels earned to a certain degree because we've had 6 seasons with her and she's had a very full character arc, and we give a shit. When Batel dies, when Batel becomes a motherfucking crystal statue, it doesn't feel particularly earned because we've spent not very long with her, and most of the time she's been a prop or a MacGuffin or a mystery box. She's filled very generic roles, and she hasn't really been fleshed out enough for me to give half a shit. This isn't as bad as when they killed Ariam off in Star Trek Discovery, because at the very least they didn't have her be a glorified extra for 5 episodes and then lore dump her entire fucking character on me. But okay, so for example, in that extended life we could have had scene that they have with Batel and Pike, we have Batel and Pike have a moment where he's about to go off to the Class J ship to turn into Mr. Beepy Beepy because that's what he's expecting to happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we expected to believe that she knew about his destiny? Or is this just something like if she's meant to be somebody that he's in love with?
Yeah.
Maybe, right? Give us a scene where he's like, I'm worried about the longevity of this relationship because I'm gonna fucking get turned into a fucking radiation-stricken, wheelchair-bound beeping box in a few years, and it's gonna a bit fuck my romantic prospects up, love. So, have that conversation. Show us those characters doing those things. Do character things. Don't just have her be a MacGuffin for an entire season when she remembers to show up, and then have that moment in a fucking fake-ass world that she's generating with her super godlike powers that she's spontaneously fucking developed in what is effective. And the thing is, that entire scene is her using her super godlike powers that she's magically suddenly developed from being exposed to this different genetic material. Fuck? That's her using that to create the perception in her and Pike's minds that they're living an entire life together before. It's basically... So like in Human Nature in Doctor Who Season 3, where John Smith and Joan touch the watch, and it shows them the entire life they could have had up until John Smith dying of old age. It's that scene. And that, by the way, is why I watched that scene, and I was like, oh, we're doing that. That's what this is. At some point, the penny's going to drop, and it's either going to be that, or it's going to be the last temptation before Batel is like, no, I must stop the bad guy. It's one of those two scenes. It's very predictable. This is, by the way, okay, so this is the downside to being the kind of consumer of art that I am.
Yeah.
Is that when you know enough about writing and about storytelling and about how these things are done, you see everything in terms of this is a trope.
Yeah.
This is a trope. This is a trope. That was a trope. And it was a very... it was competently executed. Don't get me wrong, all of this was very competently executed, but... it's a bunch of competently executed things. Last week we said, last week's episode was very competently executed Star Trek. It was Star Trek, and it was very, very competently executed Star Trek.
Yeah.
Whereas This is very competently executed tropes. Like, here's a blending of a lot of very by the numbers tropes executed competently by a good team who charitably, and they've gone out there and practically admitted it, season 3 was a ball ache because of the writers' strike. So clearly they've very competently written something very by the numbers that they could write and so start producing very, very quickly, that then they could make and put out there. This is not this team at their A game. And you can tell this is not this team at their A game, because at their A game, this team can do very good work. We know they can do very good work. We've had some really good episodes this season. We've also had some real clunkers. So it's just a pity, in a way, that one of the clunkers that we got was the fucking season finale, which is meant to make us want to go watch more. You know, like.
Okay.
I think as well, like, they said something very interesting where they said they treated every season like it could be the last. You can tell, because this is very much like, if they ended it here, at three seasons, you could look at that and go, yeah, no, that works. Obviously, it's not ending at 3 seasons. It's ending now with its truncated 5th season, but the point still stands. They've obviously, there's not been enough certainty that they could end on a cliffhanger again. Like, they had enough certainty with season 1 and season 2 that they could end it on a cliffhanger and then come back and resolve the cliffhanger. Not this time, obviously. And yeah, I don't know. Like obviously, this is me ranting and raving about
that's kind of what you're here for, in many ways.
And I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer about it, because the thing is, like, it should never be taken for granted how difficult it is to make competent television competently, even if it is very by the numbers, because television is a bitch. And like part of the problem is, like, take what you and I do as fan writers, right? You and I, as fan writers, broadly speaking, write for ourselves. And it's very, very nice when people who aren't us like the stuff we write, but it's not necessarily a thing that is required of us, right? Like people writing Star Trek for production, like you watch it in the fucking opening of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, there's all these people listed as co-executive producers, co-producers. Yeah, every single one of those people has a right to veto something. Every single one of those people has a right to go through every script that they write and put a great big red line through it and go, we don't want this actually, and they have to be taken seriously, even if, and this happens a lot, they are stupid and they don't know what they're talking about. So writing for television fucking sucks, because as a writer, you don't have control. Like, you can say, I want to tell this story, and these idiots, sometimes who don't know what the fuck they're talking about, or don't understand what they're making, will say, we don't want to do that. Not enough of that, too much of that. Give me more sex, give me more drugs, give me more violence. This is what the audience wants. You know, and it's like, so it's a very difficult thing to make competent television, weirdly enough, even though like every fan commentator and their dickhead brother says, yes, it's very easy to write. Writing's easy. Even I've said it, like, writing, you know, I could write better. I could write better in some respects. But the problem is, my only frame of reference as a writer is that I've written as fan material. I have never written with somebody who doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about, but has the authority to tell me what to do, standing at the top of a fucking chain, red striking the lines that I write. I've never had that in my life. I've never had that experience. And faced with those circumstances, I don't think anybody can deliver competent work easily. But the fact is, and I say this with all the love in the world, what they have delivered is very by the numbers television in this instance. That sort of left me feeling a little bit underwhelmed. And do you know how you can really tell that it's by the numbers?
Go on.
It has a fucking early 2000s sci-fi show ending. Everybody's sort of, we have a montage of people going about their lives. We have like a few people looking sad, and we have an indie pop rock song going off in the background. the M83 song that was playing.
I don't actually think because I don't think I noticed that. I think I was too focused on again what was happening on the actual screen to be able to actually notice what but that was brought up in the video I watched as well. But
yeah, so I liked the fact that it was M83 because fun fact, tiny connection, M83's what's it called? M83's "My Tears Are Becoming a Sea" was one of the trailer songs for Star Trek Discovery when that was about to come out. So I think it's a fun little connection.
All right.
But
okay.
It was very much. I sort of sat there and I went, "Holy shit! Are we really doing a Smallville episode?" Anyway? Like Smallville, every episode of fucking Smallville used to end with "Here's an indie song," you know, and everybody's slow-mo walking and looking sad and feeling sad because we've had a bittersweet episode happen.
All right.
You know, and I don't want to.
Is there anything more like about it? Is there anything more about the rest of the episode or any other bits that you had specifically to point to, or you pretty much sort of made your comments on what you generally thought? All right.
I'm just gonna say again though, like there are gonna be people who are saying that the Kirk Spock thing was queer baiting, and frankly, yes, actually, I sit on that. And for me, as somebody who really loves Kirk Spock, like I think Kirk Spock is. That is the ship. That is the ship. Like, I don't care if we never have it, like, officially confirmed or anything in a way, because as subtext, it works so much better. But Kirk Spock is the ship. Little side tangent, I really hated that really self-aware, perhaps we will serve on the same ship again. Hey, fanboys, you know that we're going to serve on this ship. Wink, wink. TOS is going one day. Wink. You know, but the point is, like, there will be some people who say the Kirk Spock stuff in this episode was queer baiting, and they're not gonna be wrong to say that.
Okay.
They're not gonna be wrong to say it's queer baiting.
Okay.
And I sort of sit here. Part of me sits here and thinks, okay, so we've got queer baiting. We've got this queer baiting thing that's happened, and I don't know. Let's phrase this. If you've got queer baiting in something, like if they know that people want to see more Kirk Spock, if they know that people like that ship, and they have no intention of doing anything with it, I'd love to see the development of the Kirk Spock friendship. I'd love to see more moments with those two characters, but I don't want them to self-consciously have them like. Part of me loved it. Part of me loved it because I know there'll be a bunch of fan videos just having them do the fuck me eyes at each other over and over again for the rest of time. And part of me is like, but you're not doing it because you have a genuine desire to explore that and the ramifications of that and the connection these two characters have. You're doing it because you want to sort of point the two characters going fuck me eyes at each other at the screen and go, hey, look, fanboys, we're doing it. Are you happy now? Hey, look, fanfic writers, we're having them do the fuck me eyes at each other. Are you happy now, fanboys? And it is very much like queer baiting. And a lot of people have said, and I sort of agree, Star Trek Strange New Worlds, and indeed Star Trek in general, has sort of cooled off on its LGBT representation since the days of Discovery. Like in Discovery, you had the very open and very comfortable relationship between Stamets and Culber, and that wasn't a perfect relationship by any means. Like, I think, was it on here that I mentioned that I had problems with that relationship and how very quickly it was very dramatized instead of just being allowed to... It was
definitely in recording. I can't remember if I cut it or not. But it was definitely in recording.
Yeah, but like I sort of... That was a very open relationship on the screen. It was like, yes, this is a gay relationship on the screen, and then you had like other queer relationships on screen in Discovery, whereas now, you know, you've got a bunch of characters like Chapel's confirmed bi, but we've only seen her with guys. I don't mean to erase. That's not me trying to be biphobic here, but like it's very easy to say a character is bi and then have them only do same-sex relationships. Like on a representation level, I question that.
Okay.
And there are loads of commenters as well. Like I don't want anyone watching this to sort of look at me, the cis white guy going, there's not as much LGBT representation, as though I know what the fuck I'm talking about. But there are actual like LGBTQ plus people who've commented that there is less queer rep in Strange New Worlds and in Star Trek generally of late than there was. And to replace that with queer baiting the oldest ship in Star Trek history, you know, when we know they're not gonna do anything with it, like they're not gonna have them fuck. They don't have the balls to have Kirk Spock. They know we like it. They know we want it. They know it's the most popular ship they could do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they've given Spock, like, you know, obligatory heterosexual relationship number 3 on this fucking show. And it's like, just don't give me hope. Don't queer bait. Don't queer bait. Please, Strange New Worlds. Please, Strange New Worlds. Don't queer bait. So, ratings.
I shall slowly,
ratings.
but not completely wrap this episode up. Depending on how long you go for. Because, so, next one is the ratings. So, while putting it straightly first, this episode, for me, it didn't have, like, it wasn't, not even if it was hard to watch, for me, like, for me, as from a casual surface level watcher, nothing was so on the nose in this episode for me that it was hard to watch. So it's not anything as low as like fucking 4.5 Vulcans was. But obviously we have both sort of mentioned it. It did leave a very meh feeling to both of us. That being said, though, I'm actually changing it. So it was 6.5 out of 10. I'm gonna move that up to a 7.5 actually.
Okay.
Only because, like I said, after that whole like Pike and Battelle scene sort of overshadowed everything else for me because I was so confused by what the hell was going on, and I forgot everything else. Reading back over this and reminding myself what actually happened in the rest of the episode, I'm actually still was a pretty mediocre episode, but before the bits confused me, I actually did quite enjoy watching this episode. So originally gave it a 6.5, but now that I've rehashed myself on it, 7.5. What are you?
6.
Fair enough.
Because what it comes down to is, last week we had very competent Star Trek.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This week we just have very by the numbers television, hitting a lot of very by the numbers television tropes.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Absolutely competently done. Works on a technical level. It did not spark joy.
That's fair enough.
And you know, like watching very competently executed Star Trek, being Star Trek, sparks joy, in addition to it being very competent television.
Okay. Yeah.
Although I will give it a bonus like merit for not having the fucking Metrons. You know, complete side tangent. Yeah. I'm still not over the fucking Metrons.
So now that we're at the season finale, I thought, why not do it? I mean, it's again inspired by the track and stuff. Because they did it as well. I thought, why not? Tell it by fun with it too. Now that I know we haven't reviewed every single one of these episodes on video, but still, we both watched the whole season. Yep. We've watched it all so far. So, what would you give? So, as a whole season rating, apart from, so I think the hardest episode for me was 4.5 Vulcans, like, only because of the heavily over dramatized certain parts that were heavily leaned into a bit too much. Apart from that one, I think I've quite enjoyed this this season. I thought it's been quite fun and been quite decent. Nothing too stand-outy for me, but something that I've not looked back on it and thought I've wasted my time watching this stuff. So not wasting my time watching this stuff, but nothing stood out to me too much. Pretty much decent season. So that for me, that I'm equating that to about a 7.5 out of 10 for the season.
Okay.
What about you?
So, 7 out of 10 overall.
All right.
Which matches what I would probably give to season 1.
Fair enough.
Season 2, I would have given an 8.
Oh, chef. That's fair enough. Yeah.
But season 2, season 2 has a sort of advantage here. So season 1, they were finding their feet with it. So they did some very standout episodes, also some very by the numbers stuff. But they were finding their feet with it. They didn't really delve too deeply into what they could do with the format.
Yeah.
Second season, I mean, for me, the second season had a clunker with that fucking episode where Spock turned human. But then, it then also had 2 absolute fucking bangers with those old scientists in Subspace Rhapsody. So that, and that was really that was the moment where I was like, yeah, this is a team that's confident doing something confidently. And then season 3 happened, and obviously they've taken the knock of the writers' strike, and they've had a few more. They had the competent episodes that aren't really standout, and then they had the clunkers, and they had a couple of standouts, but the standouts aren't quite as high, and the lows are lower. So
okay, fair enough.
That's where we're sort of at with this.
Fair enough.
We've had some absolute fucking standouts this season. The documentary episode was great.
Yeah.
Last week's episode was great, and then we had fucking 4.5 Falcons with the fucking racism.
Oh, well, I'm now going to wrap this and draw this whole video, this rather varied whole video, to a close. I don't know how much this is going to make the final cut, but we shall see. Either way, as per usual, thank you, Jed, for joining me on this yet again. I shall I will say one thing for sure, that this in some ways I'm kind of glad that I've started sort of more towards the end of this series, because it gives me sort of 3 episodes mainly to sort of see what I've done with them and sort of see what I want to do for the next season or what happens. I shall definitely enjoy seeing how this all shapes out and what I can get from it for the next set whenever the next season or comes out. And so with that in mind, thank you all so much for watching this video. Like the last 2 times, if you've enjoyed this video and you've had your own thoughts on this episode, or if you disagree with us, if you agree with us, or you have your own thoughts entirely, then please in the comments below, not that I get any, let us know what you thought and what you liked or didn't like, or anything like that sort of stuff, and just have a good old chat down there. If you'd like to, also please leave a like if you like this video, and also please do so they can subscribing to
conscripting. You're gonna get conscripted. You're all getting drafted.
Not only my channel, Sergeant Beckett, but also linked below Jed's What Force Wall and Man at Desk Productions. I keep saying Mad at Desk Productions, which is just the abbreviation of MAD. As well as that, for me, you can find. I'm not gonna go through the whole ritual again. In my description, you can just find my shit down there. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Just look through it. It's down there. Just go for it.
Don't worry. He didn't literally defecate in the description. Don't think anyway. If you want to leave a shit emoji in there when you do this stuff, you can. You can do it for me. I don't know what it'll do to the algorithm, but you can do it for me.
Yeah, maybe. So thank you again so much for watching. I shall see you all in the next video. I shall see you all for the next, and I shall see. I shall definitely see you at some point, for definitely certain, for the next review video, when the next season comes out. But yeah, but I see another time I don't know what to say because I'm used to saying see you next week, Jed, and I don't know what to say. So.
You may see me next week, or I may spontaneously combust the minute we stop recording.
Maybe.
My task's now done.
Boom. Yes, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.